LA Ink. ran on TLC from 2007 to 2011, and I went and rewatched every single episode to give you all a deep dive into the juiciest moments, and to find out what led up to TLC announcing that the show was canceled in the middle of the 4th season airing on TV. This announcement also came just weeks after Kat Von D announced her split from infamous cheater Jesse James. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab something to drink. This is definitely going to be a long one. So we're going to start with a little background and find out how LA Ink. even came to be. Kat Von D rose to popularity in her early 20s when she was signed on for 2 seasons of TLC's show Miami Ink. I'm pretty sure Kat was just 22 years old when she first went on this show. And drama ensued when Kat left Miami Ink. in 2007 because she was butting heads with fellow castmate Ami James. Kat's leave definitely shocked fans, and rumors quickly spread that she may have actually been fired due to anti-Semitic comments she allegedly made about Ami. TMZ reported that they obtained a headshot of Kat that was apparently left at Miami Ink. when she left. And the headshot had writing on it and Kat's signature that Kat allegedly wrote. So the note said, "Burn in hell, slur," and it had a hate symbol and a flaming Star of David drawn on it. TLC heard about this, and then they apparently took the headshot to a handwriting expert who concluded that there's a 99% probability that Kat wrote on this headshot. However, to this day, Kat continues to deny these allegations. Also, fun fact about Ami, he co-founded Tattoo Do, which is my personal favorite tattoo publication. And in an interview with the Daily Mail Australia, Ami said, quote, "Many people make anti-Semitic comments, just leave it at that." And then he went on to add that he and Kat never really had a friendship. Kat's side of the story, though, is that Ami felt threatened by her because when she joined Miami Ink., the ratings went way up. And Kat said that she was being hazed at the shop, and that's why she decided to leave. Kat claims that when Ami found out about LA Ink., he was afraid that LA Ink. would outshine Miami Ink., which it did. But because of this, Kat says that he actually wrote the note to himself, impersonating her, to make her look bad and so that LA Ink. would be canceled before it even started. And if he actually did that, that would be so diabolically Regina George of him. And during Miami Ink., Ami was in his early 30s and Kat was in her early 20s. So I can definitely see why they were butting heads a little bit. Obviously, the alleged anti-Semitic comments are absolutely not okay, but I think ignorance was a huge factor for Kat at this time. And that's if she even wrote the note. There is that 1% chance that it wasn't her. Kat was also married to Oliver Peck during her time at Miami Ink. The two got married in 2003 when Kat was 21 and Oliver was 32. But that relationship also ended when Kat left Miami Ink. TLC decided to brush all of these rumors under the rug because Kat was their new star for their new spin-off series, LA Ink. And people were very excited for LA Ink. The Hollywood Reporter revealed in 2007 that LA Ink.'s premiere was the most watched series debut for the network since 2003. And it became TLC's highest rated series premiere ever for adults between the ages of 18 and 34. LA Ink. followed Kat Von D's move back to Los Angeles to open up her own tattoo studio, High Voltage Tattoo. Kat was newly single and she was designing this whole tattoo studio herself that included a skate ramp. And Kat hired a team of her friends to start this new journey with her. Initially, Kat hired her BFF Pixie to be the manager, and for artists she hired Corey Miller, Hannah Atchison, and Kim Saig. And they kind of had a little girl power thing going, being a primarily female-owned and operated tattoo shop. They painted all of the walls of the tattoo studio bright pink, and they would tattoo a lot of women. And I think this was a real turning point for the representation of women in the tattoo industry. Women would watch the show and think, I can get tattooed too, it's not just a boys' club, which it definitely was. At least the image of tattooing was very male-centered prior to LA Ink. Corey Miller recently reflected in an interview with TikToker iShine Inc. that the show brought tattooing into the living room. Before the show, people were afraid to venture into tattoo shops. And now people, particularly women, had a safer idea of what it would be like to get tattooed. Honestly, LA Inc. was a great show, particularly the early episodes. Kat was super earnest. They had a lot of people on with really interesting backstories. Every artist took their time and care with each client. It was really personal and the art was really great. Celebrities would come in to get tattooed and we learned all about the dating struggles of these female tattoo artists in LA. And I'm low-key obsessed with Kat's dating life from the show because she really was living every little emo girl's dreams in the early 2000s. Jackass star Steve-O was in a lot of the early episodes with Kat, and it kind of seemed like they were dating, but pretty early on, Kat apparently dumped him, which prompted Steve-O to write a scathing MySpace post titled "Kat Von D's Lies Catch Up to Her." And in the MySpace post, he accused Kat of sleeping with numerous men while she was married, including Bam Margera and Ville Valo. And I'm assuming he means married to Oliver Peck. And Steve-O also claimed in this MySpace post that Kat did indeed write the anti-Semitic message to Ami back in 2007. But by the middle of season 1, Kat is fully moved on and she's head over heels in love with her new boyfriend, famous musician Roy Orbison's son, Alex Orbison, who goes by Orby. No? Yes, that guy. Kat ends up quitting drinking for good with the help of Orby after they went out one night and Kat blacked out. She has no idea what happened, but apparently whatever it was upset Orby. And also during this time, things start to get very rocky with Pixie at the shop, who you might remember is Kat's best friend. Pixie was just kind of hanging out at the shop, she wasn't really doing much, and the tattoo artist had to pick up a lot of her slack. Another big moment in season 1 is when Kat attempts to do the world record for the most amount of tattoos in 24 hours. So she set out to do a 2-inch version of the LA portion of the LA Inc. logo on 400 people in one day. During the planning of the world record event, Pixie and Kat are butting heads a lot, mainly because Pixie didn't want to get the LA logo, and Kat doesn't understand why because she said that Pixie already has a ton of crappy tattoos. And the world record event was so chaotic. The Guinness judge ended up not even being there because he was stuck in a snowstorm in New York. The fire marshal came to the shop and tried to shut them down. And there were already 300 people waiting in line the night before to come and get tattooed by Kat. But once they got going, it was smooth sailing. They had this 2-station setup where Kat could tattoo on one while the artist broke down and set up on the other. There were many tears shed. By the end of it, Kat lost her voice and her hand could barely hold a tattoo machine, but they did it. And she reached 400 tattoos just a few minutes before the 24-hour cutoff mark. And this was a big moment for everyone at the shop. Everyone seemed to come together to make this all happen, except for Pixie. And Pixie was really getting on Kat's nerves during the event. And the other artists at the shop were starting to feel like Pixie wasn't really doing her job, which definitely upset them considering that they were giving Pixie 10% of their earnings, and they felt like she wasn't earning it. Kat and Kim confront Pixie about her behavior in the shop, and things absolutely blow up. By the end of it, Pixie threatens that she's gonna punch Kim and tells her that no matter how many boots or necklaces she buys, she'll always be miserable. And then Pixie storms off, never to return again. And this really shook up the original girl gang that we started the show with: Kim, Kat, Hannah, and Pixie. And this marked the first of many changes to come for LA Inc. In the second to last episode of season 1, Orby meets with Kat's father in order to ask for her hand in marriage. And it's kind of a little awkward cafe meeting, but it seems to go well. But then in the very last episode of season 1, they're broken up. And there's literally no explanation for this. Orby just moves out of their house. And that's it. They're done. I don't know about you all, but I have a huge sweet tooth. So I made it one of my goals in 2024 to reduce my sugar intake. And with the sponsor of today's video, Magic Spoon, I'm able to enjoy one of my childhood favorites again. And that is cereal. Magic Spoon fits a variety of lifestyles. It's high protein, keto-friendly, gluten-free, soy-free, and naturally flavored. Magic Spoon is cereal reinvented. It's the same great taste you remember, but upgraded with grown-up ingredients like no artificial flavors or dyes. The variety pack comes with 4 delicious flavors: fruity, frosted, cocoa, and peanut butter. And my favorite definitely is the fruity flavor. And all of these flavors have 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and just 4 to 5 grams of net carbs per serving, making Magic Spoon a high protein meal or treat that you can enjoy at any time of day. The variety pack comes with all of these incredible flavors, so click the link below to try out a variety pack for yourself today. And be sure to use the promo code SELL to get $5 off any order, or go to magicspoon.com/sell. So click the link down below or scan the QR code on screen right now and use code SELL for $5 off. Or you can also just go to magicspoon.com/sell for $5 off. Thank you so much to Magic Spoon. Now back to the video. By the start of season 2, High Voltage Tattoo is literally bursting with business. And because of this, Kat hires 6 new artists and 3 new assistants. And all of these people we never actually meet, they're all just in the background. But outside of the shop, Kat started her makeup line and she has a new boyfriend, who is Nikki Sixx of the band Motley Crue. Kat is at the height of her popularity at this point, and she's spending a lot of time outside of the tattoo shop. Kat's personal assistant has been her older sister for a while now, but Kat's still on the hunt to find a new shop manager after what happened with Pixie. And honestly, in season 2, not a lot of huge things happen outside of the tattooing. Kat tattoos Nikki at one point, and then she takes the whole shop to a Motley Crue show, which is cute. But by the start of season 3, the girl gang is officially disbanded as Hannah and Kim are not at the shop anymore. There was no huge falling out, the two just decided to move on from High Voltage. And this is where the series takes a pretty large turn from where it began. And there's a lot of what seems like unnecessary drama being stirred up by production from here on out. At this point, Kat's younger brother starts working at the shop, and in a very strange move that seems staged, he hires former Rock of Love competitor Aubrey Fisher to be the new shop manager. She has no tattoo shop experience, she's a little spacey, none of the artists like her, and especially Kat does not like her. Nico Hurtado starts working a little bit at the shop. You may now know him as a judge on Ink Master. Dan Smith also starts working at the shop, and he's definitely a fan favorite of the show's later cast members. And then Kat wants to have a mural painted outside the shop of everyone's faces. And there's a whole bunch of drama about whose face is going on the mural. And it ends up being Kat, her brother, her sister, Corey, and Dan. Aubrey then sees this and sees that her face is not on the mural, and she's really upset about this. But Kat, as well as everyone else in the shop, is pretty sure that she's not gonna last much longer. And she didn't, because Aubrey then goes and talks one of Corey's clients out of getting tattooed while Corey's making the stencil. When I was watching this, I was like, did she do this on purpose? Because how could you not know that that's like the worst thing you could do at a tattoo shop? And she even then fights Corey on it, saying that she deserves to have an opinion and that the girl was really stressed about the tattoo. Kat hears about what happened and fires her on the spot. And honestly, I'm surprised Aubrey even lasted as long as she did. After getting fired, Aubrey then goes to work for Craig Jackman's tattoo shop, American Electric. And this is kind of like the rival tattoo shop to High Voltage. Again, this tattoo shop drama feels very staged by production, and Aubrey ends up getting fired by American Electric too. There's another manager that comes in after Aubrey and stirs up a bunch more drama, but honestly, I'm just so over the manager drama at this point. By the end of season 3, Kat and Corey are fighting now because Corey took a bunch of time off that Kat didn't approve of. And then episode 1 of season 4, Corey quits High Voltage, which was definitely a huge shock for fans, especially because Kat and Corey were the only 2 left of the original cast. So Corey packs up his stuff and leaves. And honestly, it's a really sad moment. But before the episode is even over, Corey's back in high voltage asking for his job back. And now apparently this is months later, so I'm really not sure what the editing schedule for this show was like. Then there's a lot of debate on if Kat should hire Corey back or not. And eventually Corey actually goes and works for American Electric, the rival tattoo shop. And because of this, Kat decides to completely paint over that mural by herself. And it looks really bad. And this whole time, Kat is still with Nikki Sixx, but we haven't seen him in a while. We saw him once in season 3 and then in a few early episodes of season 4. Around the middle of season 4, Nikki asked Kat to go on tour with him, and Kat is really torn up about if she should go or not, because she has a lot going on at the shop. They're also opening a new art studio next door called Wonderland. It didn't really seem like Kat wanted to go on tour with Nikki, but it also didn't seem like anything was really wrong or they were gonna break up because of it. Until the very next episode when Wonderland's opening event is, and Kat brings her new boyfriend. And it's none other than Jesse James. Jesse James is best known for being Sandra Bullock's ex-husband, but he also hosted a bunch of shows about motorcycles, I think. In my opinion, Jesse James has Cupid doll eyes. And now that I've seen that, I literally can't unsee it. And from this point on, it's all about Kat and Jesse, and they're apparently so in love. They quickly got engaged after just 5 months of dating, and in the next episode of LA Inc., Kat tells her friend that Jesse asked her dad for her hand in marriage, and that was really special to her because no one had done that before. But we just watched Orby ask your dad for your hand in marriage 2 seasons ago on camera. Also, Jesse proposed with this ring that to me looks like a garlic. So this was a quick switch up for Kat from dating Nikki to dating Jesse, especially because Nikki and Kat were together, I think, over 2 years. And Nikki told TMZ, quote, "You know, it's hard when you were just told by someone you dated for 2.5 years that you're the love of their life, and then they move on so quickly." Okay, so it was 2.5 years. That's a long time. But things seem to be going pretty well for Jesse and Kat. The only big problem in their relationship seems to be the distance, because Jesse lives in Texas and Kat obviously is very tied to LA. This causes the whole shop to be really concerned about Kat moving to Texas and closing down high voltage. And I think they were rightfully concerned, because Kat keeps talking about all of these things Jesse's building for her in Texas, and they were planning a wedding. So we get to pretty much the very end of season 4, and there's still this looming question on if Kat is going to go move to Texas and if high voltage is going to stay open. And we don't ever really get an answer to this in the show. And in the last 3 minutes of LA Inc., TLC decides to play news coverage of Kat and Jesse's breakup. And there's also footage of Kat walking out of a TV interview because she doesn't want to talk about Jesse. Kat essentially said that the long distance was too much for them. And then in the last minute or so of LA Inc., TLC plays news coverage of Kat and Jesse's apparent engagement being back on. And that's how LA Inc. ended, with this weird breakup, get back together news coverage thing. And we're left with a lot of questions. Kat eventually posted on Facebook, quote, "I am not in a relationship. I am not in any way moving to Texas. I am not opening up another tattoo shop, and I am not leaving my shop here in Los Angeles." The breakup, get back together, and then break up again seemed pretty amicable until Kat posted a Facebook post with the title, "Thank you, Jesse," where she said, quote, "Today I encountered the 19th girl to add to the list of people Jesse cheated on me with during this last year." This didn't really shock anyone because right before Kat and Jesse got together, Jesse was publicly vilified in the media for cheating on Sandra Bullock numerous times throughout their marriage. Kat said that she initially believed that Jesse was unfairly treated, but now she says that she was completely wrong about him. And just a few weeks after all of this breakup news came out, TLC announced that they were canceling LA Ink. And like I said, this announcement came in the middle of when season 4 was airing. So the audience hadn't even yet known much about Jesse and Kat's relationship by the time that they found out that they were broken up. And they also found out that LA Ink was canceled pretty much at the same time. The public statement that the network put out was, quote, "TLC has decided that the current season of LA Ink will be its last. The network is proud of what the series has accomplished in its 4 seasons, following Kat Von D's journey as an artist from Miami to Los Angeles. The series finale will air September 15th at 10 p.m. Following this announcement, Kat wrote on Twitter, "I love how me deciding to not continue doing LA Ink turns into being quote-unquote canceled. Thanks at TLC, regardless of everything, I remain grateful." So Kat's claiming she didn't want to continue LA Ink. TLC's claiming that they've canceled the show. And it seems like there was some pretty big disagreements between Kat and the network about how they would handle season 4. Because Kat went on to tell People magazine, quote, "In an effort to capitalize on my recent breakup, the network has decided to focus their energy on re-editing events that didn't happen while filming." I'm so glad, honestly, that she's not with Jesse James anymore. I got like a really weird vibe from that guy. So after LA Ink was canceled or ended, Kat kept High Voltage and she continued to work there and live in LA. Kat ended up getting married to musician Rafael Reyes in February of 2018, and then the two had a huge wedding in June of that same year after Kat announced that she was expecting her first child. Kat and Rafael welcomed their son, Leafar, in December of 2018, and the couple laid pretty low for a while, until 2021 when Kat posted "Goodbye California" on Instagram. In this Facebook post, Kat announced that unfortunately High Voltage Tattoo was closing down and the family was moving to rural Indiana. Kat also listed her gorgeous Gothic mansion for sale for $15 million with its infamous blood pool. And I've never wanted $15 million more in my life than when that house went up for sale. And with that, Kat seems like she's living her best life in Indiana with her family. So where are the rest of the cast of LA Ink now? Let's start with Corey Miller. So Corey still works as a tattoo artist today at the tattoo studio that he owns, 6 Feet Under Tattoo in Upland, California. And throughout all of LA Ink, Corey has always owned this tattoo studio. So he just has gone back to his home, and that's where his family lives. I think he has 3 young children, and he seems like he's doing very well. Pixie ended up getting into the health and fitness industry, and she became a SoulCycle master fitness instructor, and she founded a surf, yoga, and community service retreat. Hannah Atchison was briefly a judge for Oxygen Series Best Ink, and then she moved to Pittsburgh. In 2014, she opened up her own tattoo studio and art gallery called Curiosity Shop with her husband, and they still work there today. Kim Saeg also still is tattooing, and she works at Memoir Tattoo in LA. Dan Smith now owns his own tattoo studio called Captured Tattoo in Tustin, California, and he's also a musician. Aubrey Fisher did many things after getting fired from LA Ink and American Electric. I think she tried comedy for a while, and now she's a Twitch streamer. And back in 2016, Aubrey wrote in a Facebook post, quote, "Kat Von D is the biggest bully I have ever encountered. She was horrible to me. She even said my mother effed up by having me." And this was in response to some racist images that surfaced of Jesse James. So that is the life and the death of LA Ink. I honestly had a great time putting together this video, and I know it's a super long one. So thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. I truly, truly mean that every video, but especially this one. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about all of the drama of LA Ink. Were you invested in this TV show when it was airing? Have you recently watched it? Let me know down below. Also, if you do go to watch LA Ink. online, you can find a lot of it on Discovery Plus, but you will see that it's now edited into 7 seasons. They did that after the fact. It is still just 4 seasons. And you can see the original season distribution on IMDb. So with that, again, thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end of this video, leave me this emoji in the comments so I know that you are a real one. Bye everyone.